Welcome to YouTube. We got some fat patch in KR today. We got Valkyrie and new Mokoko Express and class balance patch. For class balance patch, it's very long and pretty much the rework is focused on the supporter. So you can check the description below and click the link, translate into English. Other than that, I will try to cover some reviews about the ones that I experienced. First of all, they added solo mode in Aegir. Also, they nerfed the gold on Aegir up to hard mode, up to 1680. But they did not nerf the normal Act 3, which is on the same level. So, Mordoom, normal is fine, but hard Aegir got nerfed, normal Aegir got nerfed, and normal Braille also got nerfed when it comes to gold amount. Now, something that's ironic is this. This is the first time that they actually nerfed the gold of a content in Korea that is still in the top 3 on the main characters. And not just that, I told you that they added solo mode, right? That means if you do hard Aegir or normal, whatever, you get the solo mode token from now on. With that being said, if I show you some changes in the solo shop is, as you see here, they added on the first tab, Abidos. You have to be 1640, 5 times per week times 10, so 50. I guess that's not bad. 50 coins per each. And on the second tab, this is huge. Your 1640 rats are becoming stronger than before. Way stronger. Because it's not level 7 tier 3, it is level 6 tier 4. Of course, it's character bound, and this form is the shape of the new gem system form. And lastly, on the third tab, if you go down, they added Behemoth and Aegir. Once per week per character, 40 for 140 coins, 20 Aegir for 200. With that being said, for the new gem system, you must go to the gem NPC. It does not work from the remote here. You have to go to the gem NPC and you see these two new options. This one is logging in by clicking this. Then it becomes presettable and whatever cooldown, DPS, and any skill. And this one is returning the gem. But as you know, by doing that, there's a 15 days of cooldown that you have to wait until it becomes shareable. My Aeromancer has event gems at tier 4 level 6. We're gonna figure out if the existing event gems can be locked to that new gem system. No, it can't. It doesn't show. So for fun, I'm gonna lock this red dragon horn. It becomes like that. And there's this button. From here, I can click any skills for free. And this can be presetted. And I can change to whatever gem, like cooldown or anything, right? As you see here, this one's DPS Red Dragon Horn, and this one's cooldown Red Dragon Horn. Like that, it became cooldown. And there's a warning because I already have a cooldown Red Dragon Horn here. So let's change it back. Like that. Now, lastly, let's check how much blue crystal is needed if I don't want to wait for the 15 days. Alright, I'm gonna sue the person who said to try to lock this. If you check the Kazeros NPC, they added an option where you can change Act 3 material to Act 2. For hard mode, 3 to 2. For normal, 6 to 2. The daily Unatesk disappeared. You see these two? These two are Lopeng Island, Tortoic, and Enika. Because I didn't finish some achievement related stuff from here, even though the reputation is done. Any Unatesk where the reputation and achievement related stuff and the side quests are done, you cannot click it anymore. You cannot repeat it. So the only thing that's left is a weekly Unatesk, and it got buffed. The amount of the things that you can get is increased by a bit, and there's also juices on the weekly from now on. And for tier 4, the amount is similar to tier 3. You might ask me, what should I do about the battle item related stuff, like some important items that are linked to the Unatesk. Those ones, if you check the general merchant, then they sell those stuff. You see this flame scroll for Act 2? They sell it for 5,000 silver and the weekly roster limit 21 per week. If you go to Remeria, then obviously it will sell the neutralizer for Act 3 Moth. So this does mean they nerfed the silver supply. People who has been doing infinite low pang, you can't do that anymore. I guess by doing this, they are also looking forward to people not sitting on a bunch of silvers. They also patched the pet range. As you see, all the effects that you have goes live on all your roster. I have HP, stats, additional damage, nothing else. I guess you guys have to work on all these things and gather it. So this is kind of like a collection at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, the new party system, you get into the party, it shows if the supporter is a support build by this medic mark or DPS. And also on the left side, it shows the lounge. It shows all these 8 people. Where am I? Oh, I'm sitting like here. And you click it and you can see the people's thing, the power indicator like this. Alright, we have 2 female pally as you see on the left side. And the supporter build has this plus medic mark. And the 4th guy doesn't have the plus medic mark. So that's a DPS build. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the Aegir and the people are riding the Transmog like this. You guys remember the patch? You can ride on the Transmog and go faster all the way. But of course, if you get into the raid, you can't, ride this. Alright, I am gonna do this new feature called Gold Gacha Shop. You pay 1,000 gold and you roll some Gamba. The highest odd is like Abydos and the juices, kind of this stuff. And according to the auction house, it is win. It's cheaper than the auction house. And the lowest odd are these kind of stuff. So basically what these two does is that it guarantees you the success on the quality tab. It only guarantees the success. It does not guarantees to 100 though. So for example, if you use it at 99, then it guarantees 100. But if you use it at 98, then it's gonna go to either 99 or 100. Gamble! Gamble! Last one. Oh! So I didn't do any training on the stronghold. And I didn't even do any MSQ. But if you reach level 1600 and just use these combat potion, then it immediately reaches 70 at level 1600. Wow. So that sounds like there's no point of honing to 1600 from 1580. It sounds better to just pay to win cruising path and go to 1600, right? Now the thing is, they did not release something called the Remeria Pass. So the best that you can do is buying the Cruiser North Pass, and that will put you into 1600, and you can save the amount of the mats from 1580 to 1600 and use it for 1600 to 1620. Ladies and gentlemen, I just reached 1600 and I told you that it gives 40 elixir set, right? And I clicked the supporter set and it already has appropriate elixir. It gives luminary as a default. And the second option has weapon power. The weapon power is on all 5 pieces as level 3. Pants have ally enhancement. Shoulder has heal enhancement, which is not idealistic, but it's fine. And lastly, chest have DR, damage reduction. Okay, that is not good. Okay, just the chest part, maybe I have to fix it to HP. If you don't select the supporter set, then you can select either master or critical set. By the way, they are giving out another 40 level elixir for free. I'm not sure if they're gonna do the same thing for the West, but KR is getting 2 times 40 elixir. So what this is a web browser event. Whenever the Valkyrie reaches these certain level, they give us additional stuff. And at the end, when it reaches 1660, it gives epic weapon skin. So we don't have to buy the weapon skin. We just have to reach 1660 and easy pick up this free skin. Valkyrie can be DPS and support. And as you remember, I just opened the one from the Express Pass as supporter set. So I was worried, like, do I have to cut completely the new ones for DPS build, like critical and master? And the answer is no. From the browser event, it's giving me more, and I'm gonna obtain it right now. Previously, I clicked this one, which gave a luminary, right? So I clicked this one this time, the offense, and it says critical or master. So I'm not sure which one I have to pick since the research is not done. But anyways, this is a good show to show you guys how good the elixir parts are. And I just cleared the Cayenne Guild by reaching 1610, and that gave me level 5 on all armor transcendence. And other than that, you get level 5 of weapon transcendence. And later on, Aegir gives you some Aegir mats where you can make up to 2 pieces from the start. Unless you save a lot of mats, I think you do kinda have to buy those 1600 passes because they give you tier 3 mats on this 1585 chest, but they don't give it until 1620. They give tier 4 from 1640, like that. Other than the materials, it gives some green potion like that includes both Guardian Raid and Chaos Engine, and it gives legendary life skill tool for each of the categories, 1 each. So them not giving much tier 3 materials directly, but giving out some of like, these stuff and these stuff, sounds like do the dailies and life skill, earn the mats, and hone by yourself. And if you think about what the director said in the live stream in Loa On, he said he want the actual new players and return players to use this express and go step by step. For the existing players, if you want to skip all the tier 3 honing and juice your Valkyrie or whatever the character is all the way to 1660 and beyond, then it looks like you have to pay a lot of gold. One of the example is this tier 3 leap zone right here that happened in Korea. It surged drastically like this. The price got doubled. So if you want to juice all the way in short term, then it looks like you need to save a lot of tier 3 mats in advance. Also, from today's patch, as you see, none of the skills have levels on it. Everything is a default to level 5. For PvP, it's default to level 1. Then what about your amulets? Where do you use that? They added a new pink token NPC, and if you click her, then those amulets turns into this kind of token, and with these token, you can exchange for the materials like this. Yeah, only the wishful amulets. That turns to this. There's no scroll. This is all it has. And it says roster limited. So if you exchange all these, then it's over. And yes, they are roster bound once you take it. For the supporters, you have to raise the skill level beyond 10. This is the attack buff skill of the Valkyrie. Up there, the green figure is the attack buff efficiency, and that increases. It's 11.5 right now. At level 13, 11.7. So you need to put the skill level beyond 10 to give better buff. And not just the attack power buff, some of the shield related skills, they even increase the shield. As you see, that 20% in green, it increases to 22% if I have it at level 14 instead of 10. Like that, 22. Okay, if I briefly go over to the Valkyrie, the female Pally, for her founder skin, this is the white version. Like that. And this is the dark version. For the legendary skin, this is how the first version looked like. White and red. Looks like a mommy. Okay, this time, the second version. Not covering with the blindfold. Black and gold. This one looks also cool. So this is the support skill. And the game automatically gave me this kind of setting. For the DPS build, it's suggesting Hitmaster. A lot of these DPS skill have its first tripod as this, which turns the back attack skill into a free positional but increases damage by 40%. So that's like a shotgun skill on the gunslinger. For now, as the game is recommending Hitmaster, I guess you can just know it as Hitmaster and possibly maybe back attacker as well. Right now, as you see, the game suggests using some of the white and red skills for DPS Pally. The white skill looks like primarily for building the gauge, the identity meter. And the red skills are primarily the DPS skill. So let's say that you use all the skills and get the full gauge. If you use Z skill, then some of these red skills glows, and if you use this skill, then it gets enhanced. Like that. If you use X, then it launches Excalibur. So if I show you one more time, use the skills to build a meter and click Z to enhance the next skills on the red skills. So use it. And the glow disappeared. And use X as a finish blow. This time if I show you the T skill, yeah, it's not like you hold it, you click it and it goes automatically and you have to click it again. Like that. And this skill also glows if you're in the Z mode. Like that. So it gets enhanced. If I show you the awakening, so that's how it looked like, DPS build and hyper awakening. Like that. So this one is the supporter's Valkyrie skill set that the game recommends. There's a lot of yellow skills which provide shield and AP buff kind of stuff. And the red skills are for building the meter, mainly. So build a meter like that, and you can shield like this, or cleanse, or apply a brand, attack buff, and attack buff number 2. And T skill looks like this. Obviously, the effect is same as other 3 supporters for T. So when I get the meter, you can click the Z. And if you click the Z, and it applies damage buff for 12 seconds like that. There's no aura. So it's like a Bard Z or like Artist Z. And you can see X skill. If you click this, then it heals the party. So once again, initially, you can only activate Z. If you use it, it gives a damage buff to the party. And then you can use X skill to heal your party. This time, let me show you the awakening. Like that, and fills up the meter, can use Z into X again. This time hyper awakening. Alright, that hyper awakening is very interesting because it closes up to your character for long time. You know what this means? Your preset is very important for Valkyrie. You don't want to use a troll set, okay? You don't want something like clown on that face. One more thing to notice, Z is the one that spends around 75% of identity like that, and X spends nothing. Another thing that's interesting is that if you Z and don't use X, but let's say that you gather the meter like this, so use the Z again, then there's this buff that stacks. It looks like it stacks up to, yeah, only up to 3. Depending on the Z stack, if you press X key, then the amount of the HP that it restores increases as well. Lastly, I'm gonna cover some interesting part of these skills. I think they heavily focused on Valkyrie as a Swifty class. She has a lot of movement skills as a supporter. And those movement skills are in the buff and the shielding skill. This skill, D skill, is one of the attack power buff, and it moves like this. It gives a buff. It gives attack buff after moving that much distance. It's crazy. And you know what else is crazy? The Godsend Law of Paladin, the DR skill, Valkyrie's version have even longer distance move than this. It is this E skill, if I use it. Like that. It moves rapidly and then starts shielding, DRing. It moves really fast, by the way. Such a long distance. And the thing is, it also has push immunity on the third tripod. Attack buff into DR. This is crazy. Also, another thing is this S skill is the only brand skill that the game suggests. It makes a mine, like something that exists as a remnant, and for 10 seconds, it applies a brand debuff. Like that. So the brand debuff is applied below the HP, it doesn't decrease. After it disappears, now it decreases. So it's actually more than 10 seconds. Some other supporters have something like this, right? This skill particularly, though, has a very long distance. It goes all the way like that. You see that? All the way to the edge of the corner. And another thing is this skill is level 7 from the game suggestion. But if you reach it to level 10, there's a tripod that follows the enemy. Like this. Or you can also go for another tripod, which also looks good. Increases the range by 40%. The one below is damage, which doesn't matter. Range 40%. Let's see how big it is. That is mega big. I feel like this might be better than the tracking one, right? I think it depends on the raid characteristic, but this is mega big, bro. And by the way, how's the cooldown of this skill? Let me see. I'm on a full swiftness with level 7 cooldown gem, tier 3. 10 seconds, bro. It makes sense when the director said, we're going to ease the difficulty of the support gameplay. For example, we're gonna let them play with only one brand skill. Anyways, that's all for today. Hope you guys liked the video. Stay Giga Shed, spam noted.